So, Dr. Harvey, thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule to talk with me.
Yes, my pleasure.
So, I have to ask, why did you choose Hampton way back in 1978?
Well, I'm originally from Alabama, and I had gone to a predominantly black school, Talladega College at HBCU, and Hampton was always one of the ones that everybody said was one of the better schools in the country. And I had finished my doctorate at Harvard and was working at Harvard as a very minor administrative officer, one of two African Americans there at that time. And I had a desire to come back south to work at a black school. All of my mentors at Harvard advised me against it, but I had to follow my own North Star. So I left Harvard and went to Fisk University for 2 years. And then I went to Tuskegee as the administrative vice president for 6 years. And there were, quite frankly, a number of schools that were interested in me becoming president. I had an offer from three, and one of them happened to have been Hampton. And knowing Hampton's history, knowing its promise, I thought that I could serve better at a place like Hampton than perhaps a couple of the other HBCUs and one majority institution.
Would you ever imagine that you would be serving in this role as president for more than 40 years?
I would not. I'm a planner, but what I always do is to professionally plan about 5 years in advance, and that's what I've done for now 43 years. Look at it 5 years in advance, see where we are, see what we can do in the next 5 years. So no, I never thought or imagined that I would be here at Hampton for over 40 years.
And just under your leadership, sir, there are really too many things to list. So let me just say the endowment has grown, the capability to give scholarships have grown, the programs, the buildings. My goodness, from my time at Hampton in the mid to late 80s to now, what do you think has been your biggest accomplishment, your greatest accomplishment?
Well, I really and truly don't think like that because I think that the team that I have put together, and the team has changed because I've had 17 of my officers become presidents of other institutions, North and South, Black and White. Right now, I've got president of the University of the Bahamas, one of my former vice presidents. So I try to put together a team to get things done. I said from the very beginning that collective competence is better than individual competence any day. I am the team leader, no question about that, and I'm a tough team leader, and I don't apologize for that either. But the team is an accomplishment. The mindset that collective competence is better, and you're right. Our endowment has grown from 29 million now over 340 million. It could have been even more than that if the recommendations from the administration and the board agreed. We had not built some 30 new buildings. Our endowment would probably be up around 8 or 900 $1 million. But again, it's the team and people who have contributed to Hampton recognizing what we were all about. And if you want to get into that, I can get into that. But I think that people have taken ownership in what we have been talking about for all of these years.
And now, to the dismay of many Hamptonians, myself included, you've announced plans to step down. Why is now the time to do so, Dr. Harvey?
Well, as we've just said, I've been here 43 years. The Lord has blessed me abundantly to not only have the parents that I have, but to mentors that I had at Talladega, at Virginia State, at Harvard, and at other places as well. One of the blessings is my wife of 54 years, my children and grandchildren. And there are things that I want to do. I've written books, chapters in books, lectured at places like Harvard and Yale and William and Mary and Talladega, Howard, Tuskegee, places like that. But I think that I have some things to say. And I believe strongly in leadership. That's what my books are on. That's what I try to talk about practically every day. I can't continue to put out 100% at Hampton and do the kinds of writings that I want. I have a book right now at a major publisher with the working title of A Guide to Student Success at College. I'm about halfway through another book talking about the inspiration of African American art. I do want to do my memoirs, and quite frankly, I think that I've got maybe even a couple of several novels in me. And I just can't do that if I'm going to spend my, in my judgment, the requisite time being the chief executive of this wonderful institution called Hampton University. And the fact is that, I'm no young chicken. I turned 80 years old. Again, the Lord has blessed me because I think I have the energy of a 20-year-old. I have the mental acuity still there. So there are a few other things I want to do, but I want to hasten to add, I'm not going anywhere. My wife and I are going to stay in Hampton Roads, and whomever the board chooses for the next president, if he or she wishes, I will be very, very, very happy to be of help because, quite frankly, my Rolodex is large. Corporate America, Foundation America, yes, those in government on both sides of the aisle, and I'll be here for Hampton. And finally, on this point, I want you and your audience to know that outside of my immediate family, I love Hampton University more than anything or anybody. So even though I won't be the president, I'll still be here helping if the new administration wants me to help.
That's so wonderfully said, Dr. Harvey. My last question for you is, you mentioned corporate partnerships, and there's a lot of talk now. HBCUs seem to be all the rage in the general public. We're hearing a lot about them, philanthropic gifts, also corporate partnerships. What is needed? And sir, no one will deny your standing in the HBCU community as a leader and as a leader in higher education, period. So in your opinion, before we let you go, what is needed for HBCUs to not only just survive, but thrive moving forward? What kind of partnerships, what do we need to look at moving forward?
Well, first of all, I think that one needs to make sure that one, no matter where that HBCU is located, whether or not it's public or private, that you have a plan. Hampton's plan is the same as it was when Jill Armstrong was here. Number one, he said he wanted a top flight academic program. Number two, he said that he wanted to be able to develop character. And he said that of the two, character development is the more important. Well, as the 12th president, I feel the exact same way. So actually, I have used his playbook, and I hope that the ensuing administrations will do the same thing. That's the quality difference of a Hampton University and some others. And I do believe that any objective analysis will show that Hampton is one of the top universities in the country. We've got 4 satellites flying as we're talking. We've got the world's largest proton beam cancer treatment center. We've got an antenna that can detect storms and hurricanes and tornadoes up to 2,000 miles away. So the fact is nobody else, no institution, majority or minority in this region, no institution has that. So the fact is that I hope that we can continue to emphasize the things that General Armstrong emphasized when he founded this wonderful place. Again, top flight academics, and 2, the development of character. And when he talked about character, it's the same thing that I talk about. We're talking about truth, integrity, respect, trustworthiness, and responsible personal behavior. These are the things that make folks successful like you, and I'm pleased that we're going to continue to do that.
Dr. Harvey, that's our time together. On a personal note, I just want to tell you that my years at Hampton and all the years going back were made much more special because you were included in that. And I sincerely mean that. Thank you so much for everything through the years.
Well, thank you very much. And when this COVID-19 is over, come back on campus. And next time, it makes no difference if you got an appointment or not. Come by, and even if I'm in conference, I'll come out and say hello.
I'm going to take you up on that. And my
All right.
love to Mrs. Harvey as well. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.